Today, we're going to be showing you how to load a 17-foot kayak onto your car rack roof. There are several methods to attach your kayak or canoe to the top of your car. Here are a few tips to help you attach a kayak to a simple rack system. If you have foam blocks, these cost like 25 bucks at the store, or you can cut and make your own foam blocks. You're going to put those on the rack. Most of them have some sort of a groove in the middle. Today we only have one kayak, so we're going to show it in the center of the vehicle. You could put two kayaks on the sides of the rack. If you don't have foam blocks, you can either put the hole straight on the rack and risk oil canning or indentations, or you can flip it upside down and place the coaming of the cockpit and the deck on the rack. The key is just making sure you position it on the coaming right where you want it. If you have foam blocks and a friend, the easiest thing to do is to team lift the boat onto the blocks you previously placed on the rack. Next thing you're going to need is a cam strap, one of the greatest inventions known to mankind right here. Right, today I only have these 15-footers, but they sell 9-footers, probably be a better size for this. We'll talk about what to do with the tail here in just a minute. So to start out with, what you're going to do, make a V with the strap, then carefully place the cam on the opposite side of the kayak. Then toss the tail end to the opposite side. So once you've got your two cams hanging over on the other side, you're going to position them so you can pull a little bit of tension with your loop. Take the tail, open up the cam, and you're just going to pass the tail through until the cam strap gets nice and snug, but not too snug. We're not going to tighten it up just yet. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, you're not going to tighten them up too much. What you want to do is you want just a little bit of tension here. If you over tighten it and you put all your force into it, you're going to start to bend the plastic on the bottom of the boat. So instead of doing that, we're going to loosen it up and get it just snug enough so that the foam blocks don't fly out when we're on the highway. Next, you need to take the rest of the tail of the strap and secure it so it doesn't flap around in the wind and destroy the strap or the paint on your car. When it is this long, I like to throw it back over the car and tie it off with a quick release half hitch. Okay, so if you are going to get on the interstate or go for a really long ways, what a lot of people like to do is just take this tail and wrap it around snugly around your rack. My favorite way to tie it off at the end is with a clove hitch, just like that. For shorter trips, this is probably all that you need. The interstate or go for a longer trip, you're probably going to want some sort of tie down from the stern and the bow. REI or a kayak shop and spend a lot of money on these tie downs, or you can just use P-cord or parachute cord that you can buy from the hardware store or anywhere else for a couple bucks, and you can make your tie downs out of this. So I'm going to show you how to do that. On some cars, it's going to be harder than others, like this Prius. For some reason, Toyota Prius did not design a kayak attachment point. If you don't have an attachment point on your car, you can use some hose and webbing to make an attachment point. It's a good idea to use hose that is rated to take the temps created in the engine compartment. I picked up a foot of heater hose from AutoZone, cut it down to 4 or 5 inches long, cut a slit in the center on both sides, and used a flathead screwdriver to push the webbing through. Tie the ends together, and you've got yourself a hood loop that can be used on the trunk or under the hood. For this Prius, I had to make the loop a little bit longer. Okay, so once you've got the cord attached to your car, next you're going to look for an attachment point on your kayak. Now every kayak is a little bit different. But here, we're gonna look for a good attachment. There's deck rigging. Here's a deck ring right there. You could also make some sort of attachment to your toggle handle up here in the front. It just depends on what kind of kayak you got. Okay, so once you've got the line going from the bow to the car, you're gonna go down here about 2/3 or so, grab a bight, which is just a loop of the line, make 3 twists, and you're gonna pass this top part through to make another bight, just like that. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna make it so it comes undone really easily once you're done. And then you're just gonna take this line, the loose one, pass that through your second bight. And now what you can do is pull mechanical advantage through there to get it nice and snug. Now what you don't want to do is you don't want to crank down on the bow or the stern, because what you can actually end up doing is bending your boat. It's just plastic, right? So you just want to get it nice and snug. You're just preventing the bow from wiggling around in the wind. And you're also making an attachment point just in case anything fails back there to prevent this thing from becoming a torpedo on the highway and shooting off your car. All right, so to go ahead and finish this up, we're just gonna pinch right there, make a loop. What I like to do is just pull another bight through. That's called a half hitch again, and that just locks it off. And then to finish that off, we can just pull another half hitch and another half hitch, like so. And that's it. That's the trucker's hitch. A quick note on the trucker's hitch. By twisting the line 3 times into a bight and pulling the secondary bight through, there is a tendency when under a heavy load for that second loop to adjust downwards, causing the load to loosen. If I was going to use the trucker's hitch to actually tie the boat to the car instead of using the cam straps, it would be best to use an alpine butterfly or a directional figure 8 in place of the 3 twists and second loop, and then finish the hitch the same way. But for the purpose of bow and stern lines to your car, I would use the 3 twist loop.
Look at that. There actually is an attachment point there.
I used a bowline to tie off both to the loop on the hood and the rear of the car. Find a good attachment point, whatever that is for your kayak. Tie another trucker's hitch on the stern, and that's it. You've securely attached your kayak without spending much on special racks or fancy tie downs. One last note, some state laws may require a red flag to be attached on the stern, but I have yet to hear of anyone getting pulled over for this.